Okay, I think we're on 250. So if that means there's a lot of people here, and we're just so grateful. Thank you all so much for coming along today and just spending your mythical lunch hour with some other practice managers. So we've got lots and lots of things on the agenda. The sort of housekeeping thing that I need to tell you first is that we're recorded, and we're recorded already. We've lots of people, quite understandably, that were really wanted to come and join us today, but couldn't for various reasons. So we'll send out this video to everybody that that was on that registered list. So we're going to do use Mentimeter today as well during the session, and just to get us going, just to get us going, you need to go to menti.com and use 96522274. Wonderful. It's not really a test to see whether you are or you aren't. It's just to get you used to Mentimeter, really. I nearly asked you if you'd been to the hairdressers yet, because I'm going today. So that was going to be my my next question. Great. I'm glad you've come if you're still deciding. Glad you've still come if you're going to do so after the meeting. And those of you that have paid your money, we will be able to tell you what you've done, what we've done with some of that over the last few weeks since we last spoke. Wonderful. Okay. Thank you very much. 69%. Amazing. So I'm not going to ask everybody to introduce themselves, just because we're all friends now. We're colleagues. We might be in different practices, but certainly we all have the same struggles, and that has come out more than ever over the last few weeks. So somewhere in this how are we? 295 people is myself, Joe, Robin, and Nicola, and we're all available. We're always on Twitter or Facebook, and we'll always get back to you as soon as we can with any questions. We're also joined by Louise today, who again is somewhere in the crowd, who has helped us from the very beginning. She's from Wessex LMC. Professor Kingsland, I don't think can be with us today, but has been massive support. Whoever's just answered the phone, you're not on mute. Okay, so the person we really want to thank you for is for allowing us to have some support. So Sally is our new admin support person. She has helped us massively to be organised. She will be tweeting, she'll be looking at our Facebook, she'll be generally supporting us to arrange meetings, and thankfully for us, she is happy to do that on a flexible basis. So she's just going to invoice us and we pay. And she is an amazing NHS employee already. She's working at a PCN in the Southwest. So welcome to Sally. We're really, really grateful to have you with us. So I think I'm handing over to Jo, if she's here, just to talk about who we've been working with. Jo, are you on the call?
Yeah, thank you. Hello. Hi, everyone. Yes, really just to say that we're continuing all the huge work to represent you guys. We had a really good conversation with Nikki Kanani and Ned Naylor. This was on Wednesday, the 12th of May. So unfortunately, it was the day or two before the letter went out that obviously clearly upset everybody. But I have to say that she was incredibly supportive of practice managers and is fighting behind the scenes as well to try and support us with this new partnership scheme. And she's looking on us to try and help her with that support as well. So we're going to be working closely with her. The Welsh Government, as it says there, they're supportive but can't commit until after their elections, but they are all very supportive, and the LMCs have just been incredible. A lot of them have given, you know, real support, but also financial support to help as well with the pump priming. So that has been fantastic. Oh, Jane, I think you're not on mute. Jane Ford. Kay and I met with NWRS about locum doctors. they were asking us how we record locums and how easy is it to do that. And Kay and I was able to explain that practically it's really not that easy, and it would be actually much better for them to get the locums to actually declare when they work in a general practice rather than us do it. So they did listen, and they went back and they said that they would look to see if that would be possible and speak to the BMA. And we've also been asked now to join a few steering groups, a workforce planning one and another one. So we really are continuing to work on your behalf, and we are getting lots of offers to come and talk at conferences or come to different workshops. So all going really, really well. Thanks, Kay.
Thank you, Jo. Thanks.
Mm.
Okay, so we also had some wonderful support from Sheffield CCG. Sheffield agreed to pay for all of their practice managers to join. So what we need our members, our friends to do is to ask those questions of your CCG, and we're going to try and pull together some kind of standard letter that you can send on and say, look, you know, this is a really important thing for practice managers. We need your help. So it's wonderful that lots of you are saying that you'll be able to ask them to support us. So in Sheffield, I think it was that they had a locality manager that was a practice manager that had a little bit of budget, and that little bit of budget had been used in previous years for putting on events, and because there hadn't been any events, she was able to use that to get all the practice managers to join. So that would be amazing if you could just make those inroads for us, and please copy us in if you need to, and we can pick up those conversations.
Just as an aside, can I add there, Kay, I've got some text that people might want to use so they don't have to reinvent a spiel, and we'll circulate that out after the webinar.
Thanks, Nicola. So this is your slide now, Nicola, about the LMC conference.
So thank you, Kay. So you may be aware, National LMC conference was held, and we actually had a motion headed by Kerno LMC, of which is my local area. And I'm not going to read the whole slide there, you'll be able to see it, but essentially there was overwhelming support from the LMCs for practice managers and an instruction to the GPC to work with everybody to support us, and that's a fantastic step in the right direction. So we can talk about the finer points, you know, but I'm really looking forward to less bureaucracy and closer relationships, and we'll see how. We know that Practice Index have got a practice managers handbook that's going to come out soon, so we really are heading in the right direction, and those links with your local LMC is going to be really, really crucial. Thanks, Kay.
Thank you. Okay, Robin, our statement about the SOP.
Yeah, so as you all probably read that lovely little letter that came out last week, and along with the BMA and other organisations, we felt that we had something to say. I hope many of you managed to see it on Twitter and Facebook. And essentially, we echoed what our clinical colleagues were saying, and that, you know, this was not a really well thought out letter, that actually it doesn't seem to back us up when in our assertion that we have been open and we have been busy and that demand is unprecedented. So I hope all of you saw that, and we will continue to toe this line essentially in all of our communications.
Thank you. Okay, so just so that we can go back to NHS England or with some information next time we talk about this, what have you changed since that that SOP? Has anything changed in your practice? Are you doing anything different? It's when we see NHS England, they want stats from us, they want information, and of course lots of the things that the four of us say are, well, it happens every day in our practice, or, you know, we haven't changed anything, or we have, but what we need is these numbers. It's wonderful.
Great.
Sorry, can I just ask a very quick question? Has the SOP actually changed? Because checking this morning, the SOP on the website that is available is still the one dated the 12th of April. So I'm not sure they've actually changed it.
Yeah, Kate, can I jump in? It's Louise. Just to
Hi,
say,
Louise.
hi, the SOP hasn't changed yet. What came out was, this is the headlines for the change, and it still hasn't changed. So yeah, they are right. It's just, yeah, unfortunately they gave some heads up which was not helpful, or might have been helpful, but we still don't know, and that's what's caused a lot of confusion. Sorry, Kate.
No, absolutely fine. It's great having you here, Louise. Okay, that looks overwhelming then.
I think that's good, isn't it? Because that's actually what the LMCs have told us, to actually change nothing.
Yeah.
And lots of people
really.
in the chat saying we were already doing face-to-face, our doors were already open, which I'm not surprised to see at all.
Apologies
It's
to
not
our colleagues
contractual.
that are not in England, that that SOP was an NHS England thing. So
And for those colleagues not in England, we'd love to see what comes out from your bodies, to see if there's a different attitude towards how to open up or not open up over the next few months.
Okay, Robin, regional reps.
This is the exciting bit for me, especially. We have been interviewing our regional reps and we have appointed to our post. So you'll see on your screens now the contact details and the names of the people in your regions. Make a note of them, but they will be making contact with you over the next few months to introduce themselves. So you can see from the first slide, there's quite a lot, the second slide as well. We still are underrepresented in London. So we didn't actually have any applicants come forward from London practices. So if you are interested, please do get in touch with us. You can see that we've looked at to have more than one representative in quite a few areas, because on looking at the map, they were a lot bigger than we initially thought. So we didn't want to overload the poor reps having to take such a big area. So if you are in London and you are interested, you know, put an application in. We we haven't appointed for Scotland. We are in discussions with an existing practice management group that's in Scotland. So we're going to take that further separately, and we'll hope to give you more information about that soon. And we also didn't get any applications for our subgroup. So we were looking for a sort of an LGBTQIA+ member, disabled practice manager representative, and a ethnic minority, excuse me. So again, if you would be interested in those national roles, but supporting that subgroup of PMs, then please do come forward. We'd love to hear from you.
Okay, fabulous. Thank you. So those 20 people, and I just noted that we've got one of the email addresses wrong, so we'll make sure that's right. We've been collecting photographs from them, so we're hoping that we'll have big announcements for each of them individually in each of your areas. But once they're in post, remembering that this is a volunteer post, what can they do for you? Oh, we can all make plenty of noise. We can all make plenty of noise. Cakes and beer. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We can do the keep us informed, fight our corner, attend meetings. Yeah. Communicate. Wonderful. Wonderful. So some of those 20 people. Oh, Lisa's saying that we've got her email address wrong as well. Can you tell that we've finished this off about 12:10 today?
Hey, can I just add, it's Louise again. And we just had what about the other areas that aren't represented when you're looking for reps? Are you still looking for reps for other areas? Or?
Absolutely, anyone who wants to be involved. What we were talking about this week is, while it's a volunteer position, as long as we're kind of comfortable with your views and comfortable that person would be able to represent the IGPM at kind of national meetings, we'd be really happy to hear from people. When that might change is if we can only afford a paid role in each region. So that's probably a very long way off. Okay, there's tons of stuff there for us to look at. Introduce themselves, raise awareness, fight back, bang our drum. Wonderful, we can do all of that. Great.
I'll just say as well, in the southeast, sorry Kay, I was just going to jump in and say in the southeast there's actually only 2. We've got one in Kent and one in Southampton, and I'm not sure that that's probably enough. So if anybody from Sussex or Brighton and Hove would like to sort of try and fill that middle gap as well, that'd be awesome. So yeah, so keep applying if you think that you can help. Thanks, Kay.
Okay, Nicola, do you want to talk about our survey?
Sure. So just ahead of the launch of our anti-abuse campaign video, which is coming up shortly, we did a really quick, very short, sharp survey, because we know that abuse happens in our practices, but how many of us actually record evidence of it? You know, we got stats, and we just thought it'd be really useful ahead of this, before, as this will go viral. We really wanted your support to find out actually what numbers are we talking about here, and how often does this abuse happen? Is it once a day? Is it once a week, etc.? So we did a quick Survey Monkey through Practice Index. And these are our results, and you know, so we've had over 500 responses, and overwhelmingly we get abuse every single day of every single week of every single month. There were a number of practices where they've had to remove patients immediately, and overwhelmingly the abuse is threatening behaviour. And this has to stop. This is not acceptable. We've all got zero tolerance posters, but they're not having any impact. And what we wanted to do was say to people, you need to see the personal effect of the abuse that you are throwing at us, because we take it home, we keep it with us, and we don't ever get rid of it. And you know, some of our staff have been in tears. Joe made a very good point offline that actually it's really hard to retain staff if you're in an area where the abuse is high. It's demoralizing, it's demotivating, and it absolutely has to stop, and it has to stop now. So we're going to go on to our video shortly, and hopefully it will have as much impact with you guys as it did with us when we were creating it. And have to say that James and his team at Practice Index have been instrumental in putting all of this together for us, and they've done a fantastic job.
Thanks, Nicola.
Nick, there's quite a lot of chat saying about there isn't a key to it. So what does the green mean?
Yeah,
I'm going to just say that now.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Thank you, Kay. I was going to say I can't see it.
Right.
So on the first one, how often is a member of your team at the end of abuse? That's 75% said once a day. The second one, what form does that abuse take? 39% threatening behaviour. A very small amount was racist, so less than 1%, and a combination of those two, just under 40%, and other was 21%. And then we've got, have you had to call the police? So 63% have had to call the police at times because of the abuse. And then the final one, have you removed a patient because of multiple incidents towards your team? And that was 83% have had to remove a patient because of abuse. Really interesting. So we're going to ask you the same questions now, if that's okay. So, how often?
That's a valid comment there from Gareth just in the chat. He finds removing the problem just passes it on to another practice, which is absolutely right. And it's unfortunate, isn't it? There's a point at which you say, I can't put my team through this anymore. So we know that it's happening and it's moving on.
Okay.
Judith, you're not on mute. Can you pop yourself on mute for us? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Next one. How does this abuse affect your team?
This is just so sad, isn't it? So sad.
I've got a wonderful apprentice. She's 17, and within 3 months she's used to it. So the first couple of weeks she was upset by the bad language, and I don't think I'm in an awful area and in an awful practice. And she said to me yesterday, I'm not going to let those patients spoil my day. It's after 3 months. Okay. So this wants phrases from you, this wants words from you. How does this abuse affect you? Because what we're talking about is those people that that shout at our receptionists, really. And sometimes they will get through to us. Sometimes we are at the brunt of the, 40-minute rant from somebody. Fabulous. Yeah. Using the will to go on, and that's one of the things that really kicked the four of us off into doing this. Is that the survey that's kind of kicked off us jumping into action was that 60% of practice managers were considering leaving the profession. Oh, I cry behind my door at home. Talk to your regional rep. Talk to somebody. Talk to the NHS England coaching support as well. What we'll do is we'll collect all these words together and we'll let NHS England, NHS Wales, NHS Scotland, NHS Northern Ireland, we'll let them all know how we are feeling. Okay. So we're hoping that we can do something about this, and today's the day we're kicking off our campaign. But we want to know if you think, like we're thinking, that this has increased recently. Yeah, Susie in the chat, she's saying that the press don't help, and we feel that too. When they're being told that they're entitled, or at least that's the message that's coming out, or even that our doors have been closed for a year, which absolutely none of us have had that, our doors closed. We've all been seeing patients. Okay, our feeling too. So that's good that that's consistent. Okay, so get your popcorn ready. This is our campaign. I'm hoping that somebody much cleverer than me is going to press play now, and you'll get to see it for the first time.
Any second now.
If I die, it'll be your fault.
If I die, it'll be your fault.
Can't see your screen.
If I die, it'll be your fault.
Oh. If I die.
Can we see James's screen, everybody?
No.
No.
Can only see the
logo.
The video.
Yeah. You see it now? It'll be your fault.
No.
So you do answer the eventually.
No, we can just see Kay's screen, James.
Just 1 second, I'm sorry.
Kay may need to stop sharing her screen, and then
right, okay.
Come
in.
So I've stopped.
Looks promising.
Can you see the logo now?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And let me know if you can hear it in a second.
If I die, it'll be your fault.
Can everyone hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, start again. Sorry, technical issue.
If I die, it'll be your fault.
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 So you do answer the phone eventually then?
I don't understand why it's so hard to get through. It's not like you're doing any work.
You're overreacting to this whole thing. It's just a bit of flu. Put me with the doctor now.
You're just a receptionist. Put me through to someone who knows what they're talking about.
Your receptionist is a Rottweiler and she won't let me see the doctor.
I pay your wages to give me what I want. I'm entitled to see who I want, when I want.
Give me a vaccine or I'll complain to my MP and the CQC.
I've had my jab, so I'm immune. So give me an appointment.
The doctor shouldn't be on holiday. I need to speak to him.
You are absolutely useless, a lot of you.
I don't want to see the Indian doctor. I want to see the British one.
Do you want me to come in there and teach you how to do things better?
You're a
Run out of medication. If you don't sort it, it'll be your fault if I die.
I need my pill prescription. If I get pregnant because I've missed it, then it's your fault.
If I don't get an appointment, I'm going to be down there. I'm going to be banging on that door until someone comes out and sees me.
I'm going to come down there right now and sort you out. 3 of our team had their tyre slashed by a patient after we couldn't give him an appointment. He phoned at 5 p.m. and was offered an appointment the following day as we were fully booked.
A patient turns up at the surgery and threatens staff with a hammer because he couldn't get an appointment that suited him.
A Chinese member of staff was spat on and told to take the virus back home with them.
I hope all of your family die.
I know where you live.
If I die, it'll be your fault.
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 Wow.
You know, I've seen that so many times and it still makes me cry.
Yeah.
It's not acceptable, is it?
It's not. And you know what? We call this a collaborative video because it's all of us. There isn't a single person in general practice that hasn't heard one or more of those things. I saw some of your chat coming up and someone was saying, I've heard every one of those. And, you know, this morning we had a patient here who said, because we couldn't book him in for a diabetic appointment, a routine diabetic checkup with our practice nurse, if I die, it's your fault. And those words...
There's a lot in the chat about being able to share this, so we are going to release it. It's been hidden on YouTube up until now. It will be released. You will be able to share it. We have sent out a press release and contacted a lot of our media contacts to try and get this out as much as possible. It's going to go out on our Twitter and Facebook pages at the end of this meeting, so please tweet, reshare, absolutely spread the word. People need to realise that this happens to us all the time and it is not acceptable and that this behaviour needs to change. And a massive thank you to all of the practices whose staff took part in and were happy to have their sections recorded, who provided us with the stories. And you know, if you feel that you've got some stories that you would share with the media if they ask, do drop us an email through our main website and we can put the media in contact with you for some local examples.
Fabulous. The other thanks as well is those of you that paid your £50. Still, the nobody's taken any money, no one's taken any salaries, but we did pay for somebody to make this look like a professional professional video. So that has we'll always be open and honest with you about what we are spending, and that's what that paid for. So, what do you think?
Amazing.
If you go to Menti and just tell us, or is it all in the chat and we don't need to keep it in here? Oh, powerful. Yeah, it is stunning. I mean, you do feel stunned. I feel like when I watch it, I can only feel like I've witnessed a car accident or something. It's that sort of real shocking feeling, isn't it?
And we've seen this video quite a few times now. And every time we watch it, it becomes more and more powerful, and it becomes more and more shocking that this is the sort of abuse that we have to endure every single day. So this is going to go viral.
And this is the shortened version, so there is a slightly longer version that will be released as well, which has the 4 of us introducing the concept and why it's been needed. And we've also included in that some information about actually in a spot week where we looked, the number of appointments that were provided, including face-to-face, was actually quite substantial. So it is backing up the premise that actually we're not shut, we have been busy and we continue to be so. And it finishes with Kay's lovely line at the end that just basically says, in a world where you can be anything, be kind. And that's the message that we want to reinforce with people.
So just a couple of kind of really good comments that are coming in on here, that you're worried that it might help us limit recruitment, that we might get some negative feedback about it. And we've thought about that, but we think the message is too powerful not to share. So we take all of that on board. It's already hard enough to recruit in some areas as well. So we completely understand if this isn't something that you feel you can share in your practice for whatever reason. As Robin said, the national press, I think it was Robin that said, national press are interested. 5 Live are talking to us this afternoon, so it's hoping it goes out about 4:30, 5 o'clock tonight on there. And we really do think that people are going to have to start listening and are have to going to be kind of almost named and shamed. So we want you to share it, and we were going to have the hashtag "If I die, it's your fault," but every time I read it, it tells me I've got to diet because the words just mingle into one. So we think hashtag either of these, "The abuse must stop," or "If I die, it's your fault." These are not England specific. It's really important that wherever you are in the UK, there are accents that you will recognize from where you are, and we were quite particular about getting that so that it could be shared anywhere. So we've also done some resources, but we'll ask you what you need first. We haven't gone down the route of posters because we think, who's going to be in the practices looking at posters, who's going to look at those things, but we can produce those if you want anything in your locality. So if there is anything that you think we can do for you, yeah, we can get you, yeah, we can do all of that. We can share all those links. Yeah. So yeah, that video is we should be able to send you that as an MP4 maybe, so it can go on your screens in your waiting room. The issue you might have with that is if you're not allowed to have sound in your waiting room. Yeah, images for websites, we can do all of that, all of those things. So as long as you're a member of the IGPM, we can do that. Okay, yeah, literature for PPGs, that would be really good as well. Great idea. Yeah, external notice boards, yeah, fabulous. We'll work out how to do that. The things we've been able to do quickly, and I mean quickly, is that we're going to put this text on our Facebook page, and you can cut and paste this. So you can cut and paste this straight onto your website, onto your wherever, onto your social media, whatever you need to do. So this, as soon as we get off here, we're going to put that on Facebook. So that's that one. And then this next one is just some suggested words for Twitter. Please don't feel it has to be this generic. It's important that they're your words as well. But if you want something simple that just about hits the word count, this is our intended message. I've lost the chat. Is there anything I need to pick up in the chat?
No, just lots of positive comments. Sorry, Robin.
Carry on, Jo.
Go on, Robin. I was just going to say that there's quite a lot on the chat about, a bit worried about a backlash. We have spoken to a couple of LMCs about it, and they've given us really good advice to have pre-prepared press statements ready in response. So we think we are as prepared as we can be, but I completely understand some of your concerns, but we think we're ready for the reaction.
So we think people are going to say, well, train your staff better, or give them some more communication skills, or, you know, those kind of things. And we accept that, you know, we all accept sometimes we get things wrong, but I don't think there's ever an excuse to speak to another human in the way that our front office teams are spoken to. We're all very good at holding our hands up when we've got something wrong. Okay, so those two things we'll put on Facebook as soon as we possibly can. So if you search for the IGPM on Facebook. Okay. It's all a bit emotional, isn't it? We're doing well for time. I was really conscious that we wanted to give that video as much time as necessary. things that we're going to do, the four of us are going to do, and we will be really transparent about what we're doing. And our next question to you really after this slide is about how we spend some of the money that we've been offered. So we're continuing to meet NHS bodies. We've decided amongst the four of us that if those requests get too grey, if they're saying to us, we want you at this subgroup and that subgroup, we're going to ask for them to pay us. So we're going to ask for that funding to come into the IGPM, and until that comes, we'll cover our time. We'll just keep banging the drum, as some of you said in one of those earlier slides. So we've had an offer of some money from I don't know if I can say who. Am I allowed to say who has offered us some money? An organisation, a practice organisation, has offered us some money that we could use to get the accreditation set up. That means that it can go straight to James Kingsland. He can use it, he can get the accreditation done, and it kind of takes that worry away from us. But we don't feel we want to be sponsored at this point. We don't feel that we're in a position, and once we start being sponsored or we start having our webinars included with sponsors' names and stuff, it kind of loses a little bit of our authenticity. So if we let James access that money, then he can do that for us with the transparency. Okay.
Yeah, I think it would help to say what type of organisation. There's some things in the chat about people not being very sure because they're not sure of the organisation. So obviously there's no conflict with the organisation, but I think it'd be worth saying a little bit more about it.
Yeah, I think it's okay to say Kay.
Is it? Okay, it's Wesleyan. No. As soon as the word came out of my mouth, there's one that says no. Okay. And it's a grant. They don't want any advertising. They don't want anything from us, but they want to help us with our startup costs. And that just seemed like a piece of work that we could easily give to someone. And it's something that you're all saying you want, that accreditation.
I think all the queries that people have got about not being sure about the organisation, we've had all those queries ourselves, haven't we? And we've been reassured that it isn't a worry.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't think our plea has changed to any of you. We just need your help. We need you to make sure that we're heard, that tell people about us, tell practice managers that are not involved about us, talk to people, talk to your colleagues, get the IGPM on the agenda of meetings, direct them to us, share that video, share our text, which, as I say, will enable you to be able to cut and paste as soon as we can. But really importantly, look after yourselves as well, because it's a really, really tough time at the moment, and we want you to all keep safe and keep well. So I'm just going to hand over to Robin, Nicola and Joe and see if they want to add anything else.
So just a little thought from me, something that you might want to consider. I had a meeting with our local LMC the other day to ask for some support, and a member of the CCG was actually on that meeting, and he has asked to link with me directly to look at some resilience funding for our county, which is fantastic. So why not try that? There's somebody in your CCG that you can nobble and say, how about some resilience funding? There will be some money somewhere, and perhaps you can do something locally. So while we're a national collective, we can also do things on the ground, and this is something that we'll go to our regional reps with as well, to maybe get some ideas from them as to what needs to happen in your area. So anything and everything that you can think of, just do it. They can only say no. Where's the harm in that?
We've got Debbie in the chat is asking about when people can start putting IGPM. to their signatures. So until we've gone through the accreditation process, we're asking you not to use letters after your name because the letters themselves haven't been finalised. But in your email signatures, you can put member of IGPM if you're a paid up member. Eventually, once the accreditation process is in place, you'll be able to put the relevant letters depending on the level of membership you've achieved. So hopefully that answers that question.
And key to note as well that anyone else that's offering you those letters after your name as well, make sure they've been to an accreditation process before they take your money. Okay, so our final, and I think this will always be our final slide. It's our promise, we'll always be people working in practice management. If you've got PCN managers, if you've got finance managers, if you've got deputy practice managers, anybody working in a management position can join us, and our leadership will always be from that group. We'll never take a profit. Any money will go back into supporting our cause, as it were, and your views will always be the most important thing. So I can see that somebody has just put in the chat how to join if you're not already a member. Please, if the time's not right for you to join and pay your money now, we completely understand. We're just really grateful for your support, and tweet away. Anybody else? Anybody got anything? Joe, Nicola, Robin?
Nope,
no? Fabulous.
No, great to see you all again. Thank you so much for your ongoing support. I think I'd love to say, really.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, just for taking your time out of your busy day. We know how difficult it is, but we do really, really appreciate the support.
Yeah, and just watch this space for our future activities. We've got a lot to get through in the next few months, and we'll be providing updates as regularly as we can.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
And welcome to our regional reps. We're so excited to have you all on board. Brilliant. Thanks all. See you later.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.